He is the master of the mystic arts. He is the protector of natural law, and he is one of my favorite Marvel characters, Dr. Stephen Strange. Dr. Strange had an interesting introduction to Marvel. He was the best neurosurgeon in his time. He was obviously the best, so everybody came to him because they trusted him. He was going to do the best. He was going to do the best for their condition, and he knew how to. He knew what the best course of action was for a specific person. So he's very intellectual about that, and he's very smart. And one day he was riding the car, and he had a car accident, and it crushed his hands in the process. And being a neurosurgeon, you need your hands to have surgery on someone, and he can't do that anymore. So his career was blown. He thought he was done as a neurosurgeon, and so that's what he took pride in. And he went back to the ER, and they tried to fix him up, and they couldn't get him back to where he was. There's no way. He did therapy, he did all this stuff, and he couldn't do it. And he saw a patient of his walking around who was paralyzed because he couldn't fix him. He couldn't put anything back. His spine was ruptured so much they couldn't walk. And he was walking, which made no sense to Dr. Strange. He goes, "How are you walking right now?" He goes, "You're Dr. Strange, aren't you?" He goes, "Yes." He goes, "You're the one that couldn't help me." He goes, "Yes, because there's no way I could help you. There's no way. How are you doing this?" He goes, I have help from somewhere else. I found another way out." He goes, "Well, where is this? I kind of need my own help right now. My hands are gone. I need my hands." So he sent him to Kamar-Taj. Kamar-Taj is where the Ancient One taught people to basically believe that they can self-heal themselves way better than any surgeon can do. And that's her right there, the Ancient One. She's a Sorcerer Supreme when she's alive. And she ends up dying, and Doctor Strange becomes a Sorcerer Supreme. And he has abilities as Sorcerer Supreme and things he has to help him protect the Earth from the natural order, protect everything. He has a cloak of levitation, which is the red cape on him. This cloak can do all sorts of things. But a few things it can do is it protects him when he's not looking. It guides him to the right course of action that he needs to do. The cloak has a mind of its own, and it can help him fly. It's named levitation. He can mesmerize people, which means he can just control people telepathically in their mind, that they don't realize he's doing it, but he's doing it anyway. And I can make you do what I want you to do, and he can just make their body move, and it's really cool. And he can communicate with people, up to a dozen people at once, maybe more, if he wanted to. And every conversation he can just control. And he can perform the actions of the Infinity Stone, which is in the Eye of Agamotto, which is on his neck here, which he's sworn to protect, because the Infinity Stone has a lot of power in the Marvel universe, and you don't mess around with those because it can really devastate like time in this sense. It can throw things way out of whack. He can perform. He can control. He controls time with it, basically, in essence. And being Sorcerer Supreme, he's the one that wears it, and they trust him the most because he's the smartest out of the people at Kamar-Taj. He learned the fastest. He just understood things way better than everybody else. There's a few enemies of Doctor Strange. Dormammu is a really big being. He's in the dark dimension. That's why it's really purple and evil looking. And Caecilius is a follower of Dormammu, and that's why his eyes are purple, because he draws energy from the dark dimension. It's just evil, and just takes the good out of Caecilius. And Caecilius was good at one point, and then Dormammu persuaded him to be evil. And over the course of time, Doctor Strange fights these enemies, and he defeats them by sending Dormammu away from Earth, making a bargain with him. And he did things he didn't understand. Doctor Strange did things to Dormammu that he did not understand, and basically he couldn't take it anymore and left Earth. And Caecilius was a follower, and as long as he was on Earth, Caecilius could live. But if he's away, he has to go away from the Earth and be in Dark Dimension, and for him to die. And that is why Doctor Strange is my favorite Marvel character.